Stacey, Abba, first, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. But more importantly, thank you for bringing humor to us at a time that we desperately need. It has been a rough 2 years. I'm going to ask the both of you, though. Abba, I'll start with you. How has the last 2 years been for you personally, just seeing how the world has been changing up?
Well, I guess it's been, I mean, generally very hard for everybody involved. Um, I think for me personally, it's been really weird because I got this job at 22 minutes during like the peak of the pandemic. So it feels as though the past 2 years, one half of it, I was definitely struggling, being like, I can't believe I wake up into this hellfire every single day. I can't believe this is happening. But then the other half, I've been in Halifax, enjoying the company of like-minded comedians and friends. So it feels like this bittersweet moment that I can only be really grateful for. And I feel like a total jerk saying that because the pandemic has been really bad for most people.
It has been. Stacey, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really like amazing opportunity to during this pandemic be with people and have the ability to create and talk about what's going on, like Abba said, with like-minded comedians and creators. So again, um it's a very like I don't even know the word. It's just like it's a very privileged position to be in.
Hmm.
It definitely is. This hour is 22 minutes. Iconic. Um, it reflects Canadian humor. It reflects what's going on around the world. It reflects how Canadians see the world today in a humorous way. I kind of joked about it in the beginning, but really, seriously, Abba, how does it feel being part of something that not just iconic, but also, like I said, we need the humor. Humor. We need to laugh. We need to smile.
Hmm. It feels again like so lucky. It feels like such a blessing. It's the type of job that comedians definitely work their whole lives towards. Like having a job that's this consistent, this legendary, but also has so much opportunity to just change and progress is incredibly lucky. So I'm definitely counting my blessings. And it's also a thing where Stacey and I talk about it all the time where we're like, well, what's the next thing that we can do? Like, how can we continue to innovate the ideas that we already have and make it a part of the collective culture of what we're creating at 22 minutes? So it feels
Stacey,
incredible.
Stacey, I kind of said it earlier, but I'm going to let you say it because you are part of the group. Why do you think this show has become so iconic for so many decades?
Well, I think it like really relies on like what's happening currently in the world. I mean, every week we write a brand new show. So highs and lows, like the show continues. So I feel like because it's so current, and now especially with like newer cast members, younger cast members, people from all around Canada, I feel like we're really starting to have conversations that are happening in our lives. Like it's just constantly evolving.
Mhm.
It definitely does, but Eva, here's the thing because we've gone into this social consciousness whereas before you could almost say anything you wanted to say. Now it seems like you have to be very, very careful what you say, how you structure it. That's, I don't want to use the word censorship, but you know where I'm going with this. How do you have a show like this be able to make its contribution, but at the same time have to, or do you have to worry about how you structure it, how you say it, because you don't want to offend people?
Well, I think it's still really easy to kind of make comedy that anybody can just say anything. You know what I mean? Like we read articles about that all the time. And I don't think that it's very hard at all because as long as you're speaking truth to power, you are on the right side of history. And I think that going into this, it was definitely a thing where I was like, well, I'm going to be writing sketches from the perspective of a Black woman. And as a Black woman, my understanding of the world is completely different from the culture that exists at 22 minutes. So, I mean, like, are white people going to be offended that I'm making jokes about, whiteness and certain aspects of like Canadian culture that I didn't necessarily grow up with? I was afraid of that more than I was afraid of anything else. But it's definitely proven to be the type of space where, like, that doesn't matter. Like, funny is funny. And if you're genuinely creating something that is funny, you won't be punching down or offending anybody because the truth is funny. And I think what's really nice about the show is that we get to exist in a space where we have so many people looking at our work, so many people checking our work before it's ever on TV. So I feel like that's never really a fear for me.
Stacey, do you feel the same way? And please tell me you make fun of Karens. Please tell me.
I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm really bringing a Karen vibe today. We love a white gloves. You know, I think for me, and I know like Ab and I have talked about this a lot in our creation, is like, we're looking to connect with like a human connection. Like when I'm writing or creating, I always want to put what I think to be my weakness out to then embrace it as a strength. So I mean, and I feel like people connect to that. And I feel like Karens exist and they're not great. And so I'm happy to talk about them. And I feel like, I don't know. I think it's like a really, like the objective is to show the world and from our own perspectives. And I feel like people see themselves represented in that.
Let's take a look more on what we're going to expect on this new season. You know, what has always been, again, iconic is making fun of the politicians. Ava, are we still going down that road? Can you give us a couple of hints? Okay. I like the fact, I love that Stacey's laughing at that.
Yeah.
Well, like, I feel like, you know, one thing that will always be true is that it'll always be fun to make fun of politicians because there are some politicians that work really hard and there are some politicians who are complete crooks. Doug Ford. And
Wait, second.
And we need to drag them. I really think that it is also a thing that Canadians are really itching for. This is the only type of platform that we really have to be like, no, this is the truth on this politician. And the fact that they said this is wild because that's not going to be covered on the news. But coming up, I think that Stacey is going to be embodying a lot of Karens who are also politicians. And we're going to be making fun of that and dragging that. So,
yes,
yeah,
we must.
No, Stacey, I want you to please continue with this conversation. I love this.
Well, no, I think I think, you know, the world is like, it's been on fire for a very long time. So it's sort of like our responsibility to sort of point that out. And, you know, it's not, the world is not all good things happening to good people and everything's great. So it's kind of nice to kind of get in the mud with very, very smart writers and creators and, be pointed and biting and funny, you know, laugh through the absolute insanity of Doug Ford. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I want to go. This is for both of you, and anyone can answer this. You know, starting it off, but I'd love to hear from both of you. How does it work? I've never asked this question to anybody who has been in there. How does it work? You guys get together. How does it all come about? Are there newspapers? Is somebody saying, "Hey, did you watch the news?" How does this work?
Just a table of open newspapers.
Well, I'm just thinking because my days in news, I know how we always started the day.
Yeah.
And I know how I ended the day too, because, you know, it's a 24-hour roll, unless, you know, when you're sleeping. How does it work for you guys?
Well, we come in on Tuesdays, which I think is awesome. And we have a pitch meeting. So it's really great to see, you know, a massive group of people from, you know, a diverse background, different locations, and they bring up what's going on for them and they pitch their ideas, what's happening in the world through their own point of view. And then from there, we go off and write. Then the selections are made on Wednesday. We do a table read. Abba, please help me if I'm missing anything.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Good. Okay. And then on Wednesdays, then the sketches are selected. And then we work with an amazing crew of people, hair, props, sets, costume, producers, and we have a big production meeting about what's been selected and how we're going to shoot it. And then while we're shooting those, we also work alongside the writers working on what's happened in the news, any breaking stories, so that we can have desk pieces as well. So really it is just like a run to the finish line, writers and everyone's working on the weekend as well. So it is really sort of an all-encompassing gig.
We're mostly on Twitter, Instagram. Truly, we pull from anywhere. And because I feel like we're all the type of people who are already so engaged with like social media and being a part of what the rest of the world is thinking, that we naturally are always coming up with stories. Like just the group chat alone, it's constantly like I had to turn off my notifications because it's just a constant like
links.
Yes, links. You guys see that this happened. Everyone's really on it. We have the best crew and writers because everyone really like our writers really pay attention to what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, so again, maybe not giving too much away. What would you say is your, favorite skit or favorite character? Abba, I'll let you start on that one.
Well, I think for this season in particular, speaking of Karens, I wrote this sketch called "Can I Talk to the Manager?" where like it's basically I won't ruin it, but
you don't have to. I've seen this too many times on social media.
And we all have seen it, but in this particular sketch, it works in a way that I don't think it's ever worked before. It works in favor of those who are usually at the ire of the Karens. So check it out if you have time.
I will. Stacey, what about yourself?
That was certainly a highlight for me. I know we were like, when Abba wrote it, it was just so perfect. Like the table read, like I couldn't stop smiling. I was like, this is such a perfect depiction of what this is. And it was so fun. The crew, it was just nice. Like, it just was one of those moments where it was like, everyone was just like working together on it. I think it turned out amazing. The costume, the wig was beyond.
The wig was stellar.
Beyond.
Yeah.
But it was a really great way. Like, I don't know. I thought the point of view, like it was so biting, so satirical. I thought it was really, really, really great. It was like just so fun to be a part of.
Stacey killed it.
I cannot wait for this. This show again, iconic, and it has influenced so many comedians out there, comics. How does it feel for both of you knowing that you are influencing the next generation through your comedy with this show?
Honestly, I have not even thought about that until now. It's so funny because I will talk literally circles around Heidi Brander, who's our head writer and one of our producers, just telling her about how influential her writing was to me because she would write on MTV Live. And all I ever watched growing up was MTV Live. And it influenced my humor in a way that I can't even really speak to. It was just so like, it was such a milestone for me during that time in my life. So I haven't really thought about what my influence will be on like next generations, but I hope it's a good one. I hope it'll inspire young Black kids to know that they can write sketches about Karens on Canadian TV as well.
And I'm happy to audition. I think it's a really exciting time. I feel like, it's great to have like a very diverse writing group and the cast. And I feel like online has been really successful, like to see, a show, and especially in Canada, which often I feel like we kind of put ourselves down, but it's like to take off. I think it's like something crazy, like 39 million views or something wild, like on TikTok,
which is crazy. Yeah.
And they're young, they've influenced my hair today. And, but like, yeah, it's a really exciting time. And I feel like we're having really important and like really great conversations and like wanting to kind of push the envelope and I'm excited for like the next half of the season.
I hope you push it right over Niagara Falls. I cannot wait for this.
I mean, easily, yeah.
I cannot wait for this new season. Folks, thank you so much for the interview, but more importantly, like I said, which I've been able to do from the beginning of this interview to the end, keeping me laughing, keeping me smiling. And I know that once this is over, I will continue to laugh and smile because
oh my gosh,
that is so sweet.
That is so
nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.